Stella worked as a high-voltage linesperson up in Queensland, a job that meant putting her life on the line every single day. She spent hours suspended from power poles in the middle of cyclonic storms, risking electrocution just to keep the lights on for everyday Aussies. Stella was incredibly proud of her grit and that she could do this deadly hard yucca alongside the toughest blokes, pulling in a massive income. Her husband, Harrison, spent his days lounging at their Gold Coast home, calling himself a freelance web developer, even though his rare paychecks barely covered his craft beer tab. Stella loved him deeply, believing a strong marriage meant carrying the weight for your partner when they were struggling. That's exactly why, 3 months ago, when Harrison broke down in tears begging for $70,000 from their joint savings, she didn't hesitate. He swore his brother Oscar down in Melbourne urgently needed life-saving spinal surgery or he'd be permanently in a wheelchair. Having a massive, compassionate heart, Stella transferred every single cent to save her brother-in-law. To plug that massive financial hole, she voluntarily picked up dangerous back-to-back emergency shifts, genuinely believing she was doing the honourable thing for her family. Right in the middle of a brutal cyclone season, Stella had just pulled a monstrous 48-hour emergency shift, repairing storm-wrecked power lines under torrential rain. Sitting soaking wet in the cab of her heavy-duty work truck at a roadhouse off the Bruce Highway, she texted Harrison. He replied with a quick, dry message. "Darling, I'm still sitting by Oscar's hospital bed in Melbourne. The reception is absolute rubbish here. Please pray for us." Wiping away tears of sheer exhaustion, Stella mindlessly opened Instagram to distract herself for a few minutes. The algorithm threw up a suggested reel from a 20-year-old local fitness influencer named Tia. The glammed-up girl was showing off an absolutely stunning, brand-new luxury caravan, bragging to her followers that her generous sugar daddy just bought them this palace on wheels. Stella was about to scroll past, but her heavy heart skipped a violent beat. Perfectly reflected in the caravan's tinted window stood Harrison, holding a glass of vintage champagne. Worse, the geolocation tag wasn't anywhere near a Melbourne hospital ward. It was pinned at an elite beachfront holiday park in Noosa, just a couple of hours' drive away. The sickening realization hit her like a physical blow. Instead of flying into a hysterical screaming fit and cursing her husband to hell and back, Stella forced herself to take a deep, stabilizing breath. Working with high-voltage electricity had taught her one crucial lesson. Panic gets you killed, and only ice-cold focus keeps you alive. She fired up the massive diesel engine of her work truck and headed straight up the highway towards Noosa, feeling her selfless love rapidly mutating into concentrated fury. Pulling up near the coastal holiday park, she easily spotted that gleaming $70,000 luxury caravan, paid for entirely with her blood and sweat. Hiding in the shadows of the gum trees, she listened through a cracked window as Harrison laughed out loud. He was actively promising his young mistress that his dumb, hard-hat-wearing tradie wife would soon earn them enough cash for a first-class trip to Europe. That monstrous lie instantly assassinated the very last drop of affection Stella had left. She quietly walked back to her truck and cold-bloodedly contacted her lawyer and the Queensland police. Because Harrison used a fabricated medical emergency to extract the funds, his actions were officially classified as a serious criminal offence, obtaining a financial advantage by deception. The ultimate payback unfolded that very evening when Harrison and his young sugar baby headed out to an expensive waterfront restaurant, leaving their luxury caravan completely unattended. The absolute second they were out of sight, Stella silently backed her heavy-duty work truck right up to the tow hitch. Working with the speed and precision of a seasoned tradie, she expertly dropped the caravan onto her tow ball, secured the D-shackles, and plugged in the brake lights. In the empty patch of grass where their love nest had sat just moments before, she left a neat, waterproof folder containing signed divorce papers and a printed copy of her official police report for major financial fraud. When Harrison and Tia returned from their romantic dinner, they were met with an empty dirt patch and a parked Queensland police cruiser. Right in front of his horrified mistress and dozens of nosy campers, the cops read a ghost-white Harrison his rights, slapped steel handcuffs on his wrists, and roughly shoved him into the back of a paddy wagon. Meanwhile, Stella was already cruising calmly down the dark highway, towing her rightful caravan behind her to sell the next morning, permanently dumping the parasite out of her life.